Today's shir is being sponsored in memory of, now I got it right, I was a week ahead last week, Yitzchak Yosef and Yoshua Menachem Mendel Abramowitz. And today's shir is being sponsored by Miriam Cowell. It should be a schut for Shavuot Shlema B'Karo for a husband, Nason Ben Menucha. And if we can have him in our tefillos, that would be very special. Nason Ben Menucha, an easy name to remember. Okay, my friends, let's learn. Let's learn together. One question for today, which is a basic question. Source number one. Be'inyan Chag Shavuot Makshim Ha'olam Ha'ara Nifla'a. Dema yesh lanu hayom me'etzem Yom Matan Torah. What do we have today from the experience of Matan Torah? Hello, lo nishar mimenu klum l'dorot. There's nothing left. Acharei sheMoshe Rabbeinu shavar taluchos. Moshe Rabbeinu broke the luchos. V'chi haTorah nimtzei biyadenu atay nitara l'Moshe Rabbeinu b'Yom HaKippurim ayidei luchos shnios. The Torah that we have is coming from the second luchos, and the second luchos are on Yom Kippur. Why do we call Shavuos Zman Matan Torah? Let me put this question in English. What are we celebrating? So when I was sharing with my daughter, who's a ganenet, a 3-year-old teacher, I said to her, "What do you teach the kids about on Shavuos?" We got the Torah. I said, "Great. Keep on teaching them that. But now as an adult, let me ask you a question. What exactly did we get on Shavuos? The quote-unquote Torah that we got, the Aseret HaDibrot, which were then given over into the Luchot, were broken on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. So what is left from the Shavuos experience? The answer is, well, that's my question. So when I say it's Man Matan Toratenu, it's the time of receiving the Torah, that's not really 100% accurate. So it's interesting. A few days later, she comes to me and she says, "Ima, remember that question you asked?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "It's really bothering me." I said, "Good. Keep on go teaching them. We got the Torah." But the question still stands. What did we get on Shavuos? Now, why this question is a very important question is because based on what we got on Shavuos, that's how we need to celebrate it. So if I know what happened, so I'll know how to really tap into the day in a much more concrete way. Keep in mind, unlike every other festival, every other Chag, where I have a mitzvah, right? I have a mitzvah to eat matzah, to sit in the sukkah, arba minim. I have a lot of minhagim around Shavuos. Cheesecake tops the list. Learning all night. There are minhagim, akdamos, Megillat Ruach, which I want to talk about today also, Mirz Hashem. The only mitzvah of the day is to have a meal. How come we don't even have a mitzvah today? It seems like the whole day is almost shrouded in a question mark. What exactly are we celebrating? What'd you say? Or in a cloud. In a cloud. Ba'av ha'anan. Very good. In a cloud. Now, part of me wants to do what I do with my daughter. Just leave it right here. Have you think about it. And then next year come back and what? And answer it. But yes, ma'am.
But the Matan Torah wasn't just about those two luchos, right?
That's what I want to talk about today. And what I want to talk about, Chana is starting us off, is what we say in the Haggadah on Pesach. Ilu kervanu fnei Har Sinai, had you brought us to Har Sinai, v'lo nasan lanu et Torah, dayenu. So there must be something about kervanu fnei Har Sinai, and that's what I want to try to talk about. Now, obviously, whatever we say is never all of it. We only scratch the top of the surface, but it's enough for us to get a taste. So what I want to talk about today, the structure I want to use, is a piece from Amrumim Chalukai Melech of Mandelbaum, who talks about the bracha of Shaloah Sanigoy. still available if you haven't yet received it. Your personalized copy that changes your life, Arise and Aspire. We finished the promotion for today. Okay. The Ramchal writes the following, and it's an interesting thing to have kavanah on Shavuot for this bracha of Shaloah Asan Goy. That's one practical upshot for today. He brings the Ramchal in Datfuno, second paragraph in the bracket. Mifareshet habechinos hashonos shoromamut shezachinu lahem ba'mamad Har Sinai. The experience of Har Sinai created certain changes within the Jewish people itself, even without Torahs per se. What are they? Ubevoam klai Yisrael Har Sinai talam adon baruch hu kol hayakar magia lahem lishtalem b'mtziutam. We got things that enabled us to have shleimus in our avodas Hashem. Liolam koach liot mishar simoso, to be able to serve the Ribbono Shel Olam. And what were the three main things? So Rav Mandelbaum summarizes in the arrow Aleph. Liyehudi, this is again based on Rachel, he's summarizing Aleph. Liyehudi nichnu mailos nafshiot ruchaniot elyonot she'en kayamot klal etzel goye haratzot midot trumiot adinot hanefesh. We were transformed as a people to become adinos hanefesh. There were certain character traits, we'll talk about this, that were embedded in us, that we became intrinsically different as a result of Har Sinai. As a mensch. Hashem made us into mensches. 2. Ma'asav shel Yehudi beis mashpim ala olam ve'yesh lam hayacholet l'taken et habriya. We have the ability through our mitzvos to impact creation. You know, the idea the butterfly flaps its wings in one place and there's a tsunami in another. In the language of OUIsrael Salanter, you learn Torah here, it will stop a Jew from being Mechalel Shabbos in Paris. Right? We have the ability to create a circuit power with the mitzvos we do. And Gimel, Kol Yehudi hu ben lemakom ikar kavanato yitbarach bebrias haolam v'gam chayav b'ligyono shel melech malchei amlachim. We became part of the army of the king, and we have a relationship with Hashem. These three things is what I want to Mirz Hashem develop today, again with the mind's eye of how we can relate this to our lives, and on each level to try to tie it into an idea from Sefer Rut. All three ideas, and again trying to bring it as practical as possible, are hinted at in the Atah B'chartanu that we say at the beginning of our Shemona Esrei. Take a look, double squiggly in 4, right? We say Atah B'chartanu mikol ha'amim, you have chosen us from all the nations. V'romamtanu mikol halashonos, you've exalted us from all the languages, which means you have created exaltedness in us. We are different people than the people of the other nations. 2, v'kidashtanu b'mitzvosecha, you've given us the special kedusha, holiness, that our mitzvos impact others. 3, v'kereftanu malkeinu lavodotecha, you brought us close to you, and we have a relationship with you. All three ideas that we're going to speak about are all found, hinted at, in the Atah B'chartanu. V'romamtanu mikol hashonos, v'kidashtanu mitzvosecha, v'kereftanu malkeinu lavodotecha. So far, so good? That was such an overwhelming response that I'm just like, don't even know how to hold it. Let's talk about each level in its own right, and I think we're going to see absolutely stupendous things. 1, Hashem embedded in us different character traits. We are different than the nations. And indeed, you find this in the Gemara in Nedarim in source 5. Mi she'ein lo boshet panim biyadua shelo amdu avosav al Har Sinai. It's so hard to translate boshet panim. You want to call it a certain... who wants to give me an English translation of boshet panim? Shame? Modesty? Humility? Don't all at once help me out here. It's okay. Let me struggle a little bit. Boshet panim, you know that we were found at Har Sinai. Source number 6. Hare, Lefanenu ki mamad Har Sinai yatzak etzel klal Yisrael sugei kochodu midot shenavchu le'etzem mautam. The experience that we got at Har Sinai changed us essentially. Va'ovrot midor ledor, and this is something that has become something we carry from generation to generation until we can say that somebody who is missing these things, you almost wonder whether their forefathers stood at Har Sinai. This was gifted to us at Har Sinai. Let me pause for a moment before going further here. There's a beautiful idea that I heard yesterday that really impacted me, so I'm sharing it now. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu went to the nations of the world and says, would you like the Torah? And they said, well, tell us, what's found in it. Well, it says to Yishmael, don't steal. Oh, I can't handle that, no. It says to B'nai Esau, don't kill. What do you mean? I can't handle that. We're not interested. Klal Yisrael said what? Nasa v'nishma. So the question that is asked, and it's such a great question, why is Hashem almost setting the nations up for failure? And again, the example this Rav Erlinger gave is, if you want to sell a car that's a gas guzzler, you first talk about what? It rides so smoothly. The seats, wow. You are going to feel like you're on a couch in your house. And once you try it out, I just have to make mention to you, by the way, it consumes more gas than most cars. But after you've seen its what? Its value, you say, okay, I can handle it. The Ribono Shel Olam, instead of telling them of all the wonderful things Torah has, it first says it's a gas guzzler. Well, if somebody would tell me that, the first thing I'd also what? Say thank you, but no thank you. It's almost, you hear the question, not fair. So he answers the following. He says, you don't get it. The Ribono Shel Olam is telling them, I'm offering you a Torah that will have the ability to take your Achilles heel and turn it around, and you will become a different people. I have the ability to change who you are. And Dafka mentions the most difficult thing in order to try to tempt them to say, you're ready to change? You're ready to become an exalted nation? And their answer is what? No, thank you. And I always say this to my students. Torah is not about information, it's about transformation. That's Nasa v'Nishma. We're ready to become different. And because of that, the Ribono Shel Olam benched us with, and again, almost like infused in us, different character traits that were not found till now. The Gemara in source number 7, Yevamos Amud Ayin 10 Amud Aleph, Shlosha Simanim, Yesh Ba'umazu. Very famous Gemara. There are 3 signs in this nation, and they are Rachmanim, Baishanim, and beautiful, and Gomlei Chasadim. Merciful, Baishanim. Again, we're in that place of inwardness, shame, and Gomlei Chasadim, doers of good deed. And he describes them. Ravoba here, Zatzal Rachmanus, Hinitina Leo Kashur Lazulav, Likanes Lamatzavo. Rachmanus is entering into the mindset of a person, to care about a person, to hold their pain. The opposite is Achzarios, is cruelty. Baishanos is I don't need to parade everything about me outwardly. I have the ability to keep things within. And the opposite is azus, is this brazenness. And gomlei chasadim is obviously the aspect of being a giver and not a taker. And he parallels them, I don't want to go through this here, but to Torah, Avoda, and Gemilas Chasadim. This is the basis of where we're at. So in our language here, you look at across the world, across the globe, save the, it doesn't matter if it's save the whale, save the world, save the whatever, all W's, it all works. 9 out of 10 times, who will be the CEO of the Save the will be a Jew. Not necessarily a religious Jew, but embedded in our consciousness is this Rachmanus and Gomle Chasadim. And this is what it's about. And you see this throughout. You take a look at any tragedy or any, natural disaster, Hurricane Sandy. Who was out there feeding everybody? That's your neck of the woods, yeah? It was the Jews who were feeding Jews as well as non-Jews. This is our character trait. I don't know of any other nation that has more gemachs than the Jewish people. And you open up the phone book, a gemach for everything, whether it's chickpeas or Shabbos to a gemach to lost children. That's a very important one.
We're the chosen people. How can you say that we have humility when we carry within ourselves the sense that we're chosen?
Very excellent question. How can you say that we have humility when you have the sense we're the chosen people? I love the question. I'm going to answer one approach, and it's a question that needs to be held. Rav Soloveitchik Zatzal said about the word kavod, honor, that carries within the word kavod the shorish kaved, heavy. Honor carries with it a what? A responsibility. So yes, there's a chosen people, and at the same time, what a weight to live up to that calling. And that allows a person to have that sense of what? Humility, that I have so much farther to go to live up to what? The expectations that the Ribono Shalom has for me. So that's just one approach. It's an excellent question. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to add something. Rabbi Green from your Torah always said that God put the Jews in the world because otherwise the rest of the world's cannibals, and they would all eat each other, and then we wouldn't have any world. Say it again.
No, we're going to pass on that one. We're going to. That was a little bit intense. Okay. I'm moving on here. I got completely lost. That threw me off. My shining gun blood. Yeah. Oh, I know where I was. I got it. Thank you for bringing me back, Miriam. It's like somebody on the skateboard. You just, push them a little bit and they're flying in a different direction. Shavuot is a time, as we'll talk about, to change. When we're talking about these are the three quality traits that we have. So the question we have to ask ourselves, and this is what Shavuot does for us, is a personal question. Am I aligned with those quality traits that were given to me at Har Sinai? And it's a question to just check in with myself. How can I be, and choose in any area, the Rachmanim, the Baishanim, the Gomlei Chasadim, Boshepanim, how can I be more attuned to? How can I be a bigger and better giver, a more attuned giver? I'll say personally, I want to go out on a global campaign. This is my campaign. When you walk through a door, look behind you. This is my global campaign. Now, it works on many levels. On the technical level, I watch with open mouth how people are walking in with strollers, and people just what? Shut the door behind. They don't even look to see that somebody may be in need. All right, that's a technical level. It's much deeper than that, obviously. We're very good at looking at the needs of the people in front of us, what they need. But there are also people who are behind us. And use your imagination what that may look like. If we could just shut off phones, because I don't think anything else can throw me off today. I'm not holding. It's not you, it's me holding. So that might be something that we can work on. Whatever it is, it's something small that enables us to be sensitive to others. And my friends, that is the book of Ruth that's supposed to inspire us. In my humble opinion, this is, if you're looking for a beautiful sefer to learn about Ruth on Shavuot, in Hebrew it's called the Nachlas Yosef. In English, it's called the Scroll of Kindness. Rabbi Lipowitz. It is absolutely stupendous. It's really it's a sweet read. Nachlas Yosef, Scroll of Kindness. And he speaks about that the whole Torah is about kindness. Why is Moshe Rabbeinu, of all his names, the one that we have throughout the Torah? It's to be able to reflect the daughter of Paro who saved Moshe Rabbeinu. Based on that chesed, that's the name, that's Joseph. And 11, why was the book written of Ruth? To make it known that there's such a thing as kindness in the world and that the whole world's hope hinges on it. The Megillah teaches that Ruth's following an old lonely woman to an unfamiliar country, sharing her lot in silent support, is a kindness which it said, it's these attributes which I desire. And kindness passes as a thread throughout the story. Both those who do kindness as well as those who shy away from kindness and the ripple effects. Now, he brings here the Nachlat Yosef and spends time on this, is that there's a question when this book of Ruth exactly happened. There's one opinion that's right after the death of Yoshua. Yoshua is buried in a place called Har Ga'ash, literally the volcanic mountain. And Chazal say it's because they didn't give him a Gadol Hador's funeral. People said, I'm busy with my vineyard, I'm busy with my pomegranates, I'm going to go to, pay my last tributes to Yoshua. And by calling it a volcanic mountain, it was leveling critique against the Jewish people at that time. And that's why, because they didn't show kindness, and that's why Ruth is the antidote. And that's why Ruth is the ability to heal that generation. And he notes, and this is going to be our theme song for today, in 12, there are many small deeds of kindness in the Megillah, although through which is woven a thread of kindness. The prophet, author of the Megillah, teaches us in order to save a people from its decline and put it back on track, it's not necessary to perform earth-shattering things, but rather small acts between man and his fellow. This will lead to the formation of a new being. The future of the world is built on the affinity of relations of kindness between people. Ki amarti olam chesed yibana. And we know, as the Yoros Moadim Rav Zucker points out, that on Mamad Har Sinai we became like Gerim, we became like converts, which is one of the reasons why we read the book of Ruth on Shavuot, to tell her we're all converted. And we know, Ger sheniskayer kekatan shenola dami. One who converts is like a newborn child. And that's the experience of Mamad Har Sinai. Parcha nishmasam. Their souls literally left them, and they became what? I don't want to say born again, because that has, but we became reborn, renewed, whatever you want to say it. And indeed, the Nesiva Shalom points out that Shavuos is called Yom HaBikurim, and we are told to bring v'kraftem in source 14, Mincha Chadasha LaHashem, a new gift offering to Hashem, Hainu, which is Bikurim, but on a deeper level, Mincha Shel Hitchadshus. We have to bring renewal. Sheyudi Yitchadesh B'Yom Hazeh Kibriya Chadasha. Become new. Do something new. Take on something very small, like holding the door open, looking behind you, something really small, in order to say, you know what, Hashem? I understand what I got on Har Sinai. It's like, you realign your car. I'm realigning myself to the vision Hashem has of me, V'ramamtanu mikol halashonos, where He's exalted me among the nations. No cannibals. Okay, good.
I just wanted to share a story that I told my granddaughter last week at her bar mitzvah.
Mazel
And
tov.
it was something that happened over 50 years ago when I was a Kala, and I was the secretary of Seagate Yeshiva, and the custodian, who was not Jewish, puts a present on my desk, and I knew she couldn't afford a blessed thing. And I said to her, why? She said to me, you're the only one that says hello to me every single day.
That's exactly it. To say hello to a custodian every single day, that's the mark of a Jew. And that's exactly what we're talking about here. V'ramamtanu mikol halashonos. Our speech, literally, lashonos is different than the nation. in the way we speak to people, in the way we use our language, and this is something we should be proud of and walk around with pride. And that was a beautiful story. Thank you for
You know,
sharing.
you taught me years ago, taught everybody here, to ask people their name, and I have been doing it ever since then. And when I ask somebody their name, the guy on the telephone, the guy at the counter, whatever, it makes them feel so good that I'm acknowledging them.
Right, who they are as a person.
Really smart.
It's from Dessler, but okay.
But no, it's really nice. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Okay, I'm happy you're here today.
So we see a lot of this in our people, right?
Mhm.
We also see a lot of not this.
Nice.
So how do we explain that? Is that Erev? Is that people whose ancestors were not in Har Sinai? I mean,
Or
what is
it's
that?
Yeridos Hadaros. It's there, but it needs to be brought out. It's like the Pentaliyad. It's there. It's there. When push comes to shove, it is there. It is there. That's the best I'm going to tell you. I will make mention of a story which I don't really want to bring, but I'm going to bring it anyway, but I don't remember it. But I'm going to bring it anyway. But here's the bottom line of the story, and I hate Holocaust stories, I really do, so I'm really reticent to bring it, of somebody who, whatever happened, beaten, whatever, that she was on her last, and she was crying for some bread or water, and they knew she wasn't going to make it through the night. And the women in the barracks said, we're not going to give this to her because you know what? Ben Kovachos, she's not going to live. And one woman said, you know what? None of us know if we're going to live, but at least if we die, we will be dying as givers. And that's more important than anything else. And they gave it to her, and she didn't make it, but they became different people because of that. And that's the quality that we have even in dire circumstances. The Rachmanim, the Beishanim, the Gomlei Chasadim. And we live in a generation where the outside world has influenced us. And chutzpah yisage, there's greater chutzpah. And we're influenced by it. I agree.
Would you say it's still inside?
For sure.
I just wondered if that was Erev, like that goes on.
Yeah, I hear, I don't know.
Because how could it be, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
We also have, most Jews want to be like the Goyim. And unfortunately, it's only a small
You're right.
minority that we maintain our Yiddishkeit,
Good.
our belief.
Good.
Why is it that most Jews want to become like the Goyim?
Because they don't know about Judaism, period. They're Tinok Shenishba. They are captives. And this outside world is so alluring. And thank you very much. That's exactly what I needed. How did you know? And we have to be the ambassadors. The way we act and the way we relate to people, we have to be the ambassadors. That's I don't put it on them, I put it on us. And that's what I'm going to say. Okay, my friends, the hour is late, so I'm going to put my foot on the accelerator. Exactly. What'd you say? In the car that we bought, yeah. That's giving a lot of gas. Source 15. Matnar Chaim, Das Trunos. Ki shtei matanot natan HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael. So the first level of Rob Tadna Kol Shonos, what are we celebrating in Shavuot? We're celebrating that we are a special people. We're celebrating with pride that there's certain character traits. I'm going to use it in one word, we're mensches. And we have to ask ourselves, am I living up to the vision Hashem has of me, of my menschlichkeit? And where can I maybe fine-tune it? That's question one. Question two, idea two. Ki shtei matanot natan HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael. Hachad koach avoda lishmor kol mitzvotav. Hashem gave us the ability to keep the mitzvos. V'shenit koach b'maseim shiuchlu lasot tikunim gdolim babriya. And the ability of our mitzvos to impact creation. And the way Rav Matziyahu Solomon Zatzal says it in 16, Harei dvarav barur milalo, ki b'yom matan Torah lo kibalnu ha-mitzvos. We didn't really get the mitzvos per se, as much as aval nasinu mitzuvim. It's the Yom HaBar Mitzvah, shall call Yisrael. We became bar mitzvah. We became obligated to do, which meant Hashem gave us the ability to do mitzvahs. Mitzvahs are hard to do. It takes a lot of what? Wherewithal to push myself beyond my comfort zone. That wiring was given to us at Har Sinai, as well as the cosmic effect of every mitzvah we do. Let's talk about this cosmic effect in 18. Sifti Chaimer Friedlander Zatzal. Omnam, be'eit Kabbalah Satorah. נקבע שמעשה המצווה עצמה היא הפועלת את התיקונים הרוחניים בבריאה. From Mamad Har Sinai, we have the idea that a mitzvah affects changes in the spiritual world. כפי שנתן הקדוש ברוך הוא ממד הר סיני את הכוח לעושה מצווה לפעול לפעולתה רוחני, גם ללא תוספת כוונה שהיא, even without a kavana. Even if you don't say kavana in a bracha, just saying the bracha makes what? A powerful effect. And he continues on the next page in 19, and he says, this koach that we have is something that is given over every day. We say in Birkas HaTorah, no tein HaTorah. Every day Hashem reinfuses the ability that our mitzvot should impact the world. To take this on a little bit of a deeper level, I'm going to do it outside 20 through 22. The pasuk in Shira Shirim says, "Ba'atara shitra lo imo b'yom chatunato b'yom simchat libo b'yom chatunato." The day that his mother was crowned, whatever that may mean, is a day of receiving the Torah. And he explains here, and this is obviously a Kabbalistic concept, is that there is a relationship of mother at Har Sinai that's very unique. A mother is the mashpia. She influences, right? That's her job. She influences her child. Aim from imunim, to be able to train, to be able to affect. And here's where it gets intense. We have the ability to direct what goes on in Shamayim. Let's put this another way. Hodul Hashem kitov kilo lamchatzo kibetokuf lamed vav, 26 kilo lamchatzo, if you've ever noticed it. 26 generations, Hashem says, I'm giving the world for free. Just free. Kilo lamchatzo, chesed, chesed, chesed. Comes along the Jewish people, things have changed. Now we set the standard. When we are following, this is Mesilas Yesharim in 22. Ki im hadam nimshach achar haolam umitrachek mibaro, hinei umitkalkel umikalkel olam imo. You bring the world down with you, and you elevate the world. You elevate the world with you. We can't think that we are just acting in our own little world. Everything we do, this is a Nefesh HaChaim, has a spiritual effect on the world around us. The way Rabbi Bernstein, this is also a tremendous sefer to learn over Shavuot, the Call of Sinai. When a person engages in Torah studies, accessing the life and creative energy which Hashem bestowed in the Torah, causing it to further emanate downward throughout the various levels of creation, bringing illumination and well-being to all of them. You see, I've used this example many times before, and it's appropriate here. It's going to those IMAX theaters. Do you know what I'm talking about, where you get these 3D glasses? And then when you see the 3D glasses, you say, wow, Marabu Masecha Hashem. You see the flora, and you see the water, and you see the fishies, and are fishies fish? Fishies fish? Whatever you see. And it's like, wow. You take off the glasses, and what do you see? You see a blurry screen. And you say, hey, what happened? Nothing happened to the screen. What happened was your vision. Our vision is the same way. The world has a spiritual effect. We don't see it. It's only because we're not wearing 3D glasses. But it's there. Now, let's share an insight in Megillat Ruth. Again, this is Rav Dessler in source 24. You know that when Nomi is asking Ruth trying to dissuade her. And then she's teaching her some of the halachas that are specific to bring her to, that you should know. So one of the things she tells her is, you should know that there are arba mitos beis din. There are 4 ways that a court of law can put somebody to death. And every person is buried in a different cemetery. And Ruth responds, what? V'shama kaver, there I'll be buried. Do you ever wonder? This is so what? Bizarre. This isn't a halacha for her, this is a halacha for who? The Chaver Kadisha. Like, why is she teaching her this? Vadavar Pella, 24, Mam yuchad kokap alachazu yoter mishar kolachot shebatorah. And listen to what he answers, my friends. 25, Ela tshuvahi shebezehi balo dialat hayachas shel klal Yisrael klapei kol pula. You have to flip the page, maybe. It's backwards. 25 and 31 are backwards. I scanned them backwards. It happens to me. Are you following me? Okay. Ela tshuvahi shebezehi balo dialat hayachas shel klal Yisrael klapei kol ma'aseh mitzvah aveira. She's teaching her something much deeper. How do we view every mitzvah or aveira? Kinei lefi histaklu shitchi shel bnei adam kvar kama kvar achiluk ben shnei bnei adam shenitchevu misa beis din. You'll say, it doesn't matter. This guy got skila, this guy got streifa, this guy, it doesn't matter. Herek, and they're all in the same plot of land. No. You have no idea the difference between each one's sin. Every person and everything they do is not lumped together, but appreciated for where it's at. And he says, and this is really intense, where that 2 is, and I don't know what the second number is, Kol pula shadam oseh l'shem shamayim. Every time you do something, l'shem shamayim. Kol miniyah meched. Every time you stop yourself, or afilu, even if it's something very small. Or if you do a sin, but you go, ay, that oy changes dramatically the level of sin. 2 examples that he gives is one is Nebuchadnezzar went 4 steps in order to bring back a letter that was written that put salutations to Hashem on the 3rd line. Salutations to the king Chizkiah, salutations to the city of Yerushalayim, salutations to the great God. And Nebuchadnezzar says, if he's a great God, why'd you put him last? Well, if you think it should be changed, you go change it. He goes 4 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps, and he has a number of descendants on the throne as a result. Flip side, Yaakov Avinu, when he meets Esav, he calls him Adoni, my master, 8 times. There are 8 kings of Edom before we have a king. We don't have the eyes to see this. Aval zot aleinu ladat. We have to know that there's no small things in Judaism. Kol davar shluchara hu katan. Everything we think is small is nitzchias, is eternal. What is Shavuot about? It's about reminding ourselves v'kidashtanu b'mitzvosecha, the incredible power we have with every mitzvah and aveira that we do. I want to take this one step further, my friend. Rav Uri Weisblum, Shlita, Haras Derech, he says in source 28, Rabbi Elazar ben Rabbi Shimon Omer, Lefi sha'olam nidon achar rubo. The world is judged after the majority. Vayachi nidon achar rubo, and the individual after the majority. You do one mitzvah, ashrav, praiseworthy are you, that you have moved yourself and the entire world to the side of kaf zchut, the side of the positive, and the flip side is also there as well. A person has to feel this level of responsibility. It's called achrayus. You never have somebody you say to them, you look like you have the world on your shoulders. Do you know what, my friends? We do. And the example that he gives is a pilot. Okay, I understand they have all this machinery, but a pilot is ultimately responsible for flying the plane. One small mishap, it's hundreds of lives on the line. My friends, we are the pilot of the entire world. And the example we know of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the mashal that he gives is a person on a boat, and the guy is starting to drill underneath his seat. You say, excuse me, what are you doing? Would you just leave me alone? I am drilling under my seat. Would you mind your own business? You don't get it. You drill under your seat, we're all literally what? Sunk. Sank, sunk, sunk.
Gonna say.
We're going to sink. Let's not deal with English here. A person does a mitzvah or an avera bechadrei chadarim, in the privacy of their home. There's no one around. What difference does it make? It's the difference of drilling a hole under your seat. It makes a world of difference. What is Shavuot about? Shavuot is about reminding us of our incredible responsibility that we have to be people who are flying the plane of this world. And that's why, it's been said, we're almost 600 days in this. What word should we use for this situation? I can't find a good word. There is no good word. 600 days. Every bracha we say, and we have in mind, it should be a shmira for the chayalim. It should be a shmira for the chatufim. You have no idea of the impact that it has. You've maybe miles away, kilometers away, doesn't matter. Because spiritually we're all attached. And that's what we have to realize. Shavuot is about realigning ourselves, that when I'm doing what I'm doing, I do it with more of a consciousness that it's no big deal. No. Va'od ech. It's creating the world. Are you with me, my friends? Do you feel the responsibility? Another overwhelming response here. Okay, I will move on. I'm listening.
Just have a little bit, something you just said really touched me with something. About in the middle of a war here, and I would see these soldiers, gorgeous faces, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 3 at a time, 9 at a time. It was terrible at one point. And then I saw that Chabad is having a thing where they're going to be making challah. A lot of people do that. And I said, how is my making challah going to bring their back? And now I'm understanding more than just mitzvah doing, being a good Jew.
That's it. Every mitzvah we do, whether it's a frashas challah, a shahako, yes, it is creating a protective field over each and one of these young men and women. Yes.
And every one of those that you give, you receive back.
For sure you receive.
feel-
For sure. For sure. And again, I go back to, yes, we're the chosen people. Yes, it's a tremendous responsibility. And yes, we should be filled with, what word am I looking for? We should be filled with? I'm doing really well here today. We should be filled with pride. Ashreinu. That you said that word? Great. Okay, there you go. Okay, thank you. Someone bailed me out. I feel so much better. Ashreinu matov chokeinu. We're chosen. Wow. Ata bechartanu mikol ha'amim. We were chosen from all the nations. Walk around with pride. V'romtanu mikol ha'shanos. V'kidashtanu mitzvotzecha. Yes, it's hard. It's kaved. It's heavy. I know that. But it's not something that's going to pull me down. Rather, it's something that's going to empower me and inspire me. And that's what we have to focus in on. That inspiration, that empowerment. Let me go out and I just want to do mitzvahs all day. Wow. Do you have that feeling? Not yet. You don't like the word pride. Give me a better word, Rebbitzin. I'm ready to hear it. Privilege. You like privilege? Ashreinu. Ashreinu. Okay, whatever word you want to use. I'm struggling with words today. Fortunate. Ashreinu. I always say this to my women in Chutz La'aretz who have 2 days to wash dishes. Sing Ashreinu Matov Chalkeinu when you're washing dishes and preparing another meal. Not Oi, Ashreinu. 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 Okay, let's move, my friends, because the hour is really late. 31. Rav Mintzberg Zatzal ben Melech. Etzem havodah l'Hashem v'alicha b'drachav asiyat ritzono harehu mitbakeshet mitzad atzma. You might have to flip the page back. What's special about us? Mishum shekiblu al atzmam chova kedusha zu. Here's the key line. Kitafkid v'kiyud le'uma. It's not just that I'm doing Torah and mitzvot. This is my tafkid, this is my job, and my yi'ud. My yi'ud is my destiny. This is my definition of who I am. This is why Hashem has chosen us. Reishit etzem kabbalat hadavar ka'ol kavua v'kol shekain bebrit u'v'shvua yesh bazeh chizuk hachov, and the asterisk in 32, v'shibud l'asiyat maseh mitzvot. I'm doing this because I'm obligated to do this. But od zot yitaron ma'alat hakiyum b'Torah tafkid shekain beyoto mitchayev kvar atahu maskim v'kava b'dato shela'orach kol atido yeh kafuf l'kiyum mitzvot elim. What he's saying here, and this is very impactful, is that when we took on Torah mitzvos at Har Sinai, what did we get? Okay, we may not have gotten those luchos. We got the system called Torah that we are obligated. From now on, you're mitzuvim va'osim. From now on, you're obligated. On one, that means we got the cosmic effect, the bar mitzvah, that every one mitzvah we do is going to create a cosmic effect. Two, it's a marriage. And it means that I am dedicated to Hashem, not just when I'm doing mitzvos, but I'm dedicated to Hashem all the time. This is my essence. Like in a marriage, you don't say, tonight, and you know what, really this whole week, I'm not doing any laundry, I'm not doing any dinner. Tonight, you know what, I don't want to do anything this week. I'm stepping out of marriage for the week. Maybe for the month. I'll tell you when I come back. I mean, right? There's an obligation. There's a relationship. And he describes it as similar to, in the asterisk in 33, a melech or a Kohen Gadol. A king is a king from the moment he is coronated till something happens to stop him from being a king. But his entire time, he wakes up in the morning, he's a king. He goes to sleep at night, he's a king. In the middle of the day, he's a king. He can't just, jog in his, jogging shorts. He's a king. There's a certain deportment and expectation we have. And that's what we got at Har Sinai. We got the gift of being, in the language of the Ramchal, B'ligyono Shel Melech, in the king's army. We are part of the king's entourage. And therefore our whole essence is V'kereftanu malkeinu lavrasecha. You brought us close. We're not just little Joe Schmo at the end of the kingdom. We are part of the kingdom itself. And that is something that defines every moment of my life. Let's take a look at Ron Bernstein 36. In truth, the meaning of revelation goes beyond providing a basis for authenticating. That's it. The transmission of the Torah. One of the most crucial ideas regarding Torah is that it does not merely represent Hashem's instruction for how we are to lead our lives in this world, but it's our basis of our relationship with Him. Through performing mitzvos, we elevate ourselves and ultimately the world to a state of godliness and attach ourselves to Him. Indeed, the commentators point out that the root of the word mitzvah, tzav, in addition to meaning commandment, also means connection, for it's through the mitzvahs that we achieve a meaningful connection with Hashem. Appropriately, therefore, the transmission of these connectors was launched by an encounter with Hashem Himself, which served to form a divine connection between us and our Creator. What do we get at Har Sinai? This is what we got. We got a relationship. we got Hashem as the one who is commanding us. Whether the specific luchot stayed or not is secondary. But that relationship, that atah haretz haladah, the heavens opening up, and we met the Ribbono Shel Olam. As he continues in 38, the idea of Hashem saying, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, Asher Tzeicha Meretz Yisrael. I have a relationship with you. It started in Mitzrayim. Anochi Hashem Elokecha, singular. I have a relationship with each and every one of you. That is what we got at our Sinai. Rabbi Yitzchak Eisenhower, the asterisks in 38, each dibur that issued forth from Hashem's mouth, reflecting His divine will, served to connect the people's soul with a part of Torah contained within that dibur. In this way, the supernal spirit within Hashem's word connected with the souls of the people. It's to this connection that Chazal say, Yishakenu min shikot pihu. We got that connection, that love, that feeling of we are special. Hashem loves each and every one of us. He cares about each and every one of us. Torah is the medium of not just telling me what to do, how to do it, but it's an experience of connection. And that is really the focus of Shavuot. On the one hand, it's realigning our mitos. On the second hand, it's paying attention to the mitzvot that we do. And on the third hand, it's to feel this pride. You don't like pride. To feel this satisfaction of being in a relationship with Hashem. And that changes how I do the mitzvahs. I'm not doing it because I have to do it. I'm doing it because I want to do this. It's the world of a difference of, here's dinner, to, I made you dinner tonight, the one you like. Do you feel the difference? You know, Biderman tells a great story where he tells a story of a woman who comes to Rav Biderman crying hysterically. My husband, he doesn't show appreciation, he doesn't show thanks. And so he speaks to the husband, Rav Biderman, and what's going on here? You got to change. Your wife isn't happy. A short while later, the wife comes back. It's not helping. He still doesn't show appreciation. Calls the husband back. I thought we spoke. I don't know what she wants from me. After we spoke, I went out and I bought a lot of gifts and notes. And I told her, I can't remember your birthday. I can't remember when you do good things. It's all on the shelf. And whenever you feel like you need something to say thank you, just pull down a gift and pull down any note you want. It's not, I'm going to hold, if you don't mind. It's not a relationship. To just say, I'm doing all these mitzvahs, but you're not there, what are we doing? Shavuot is about being present in our relationship. And that, I'm sorry, because I just have to finish. Yeah? Miriam, you okay? Okay.
It's on the board mitzvah. I just wanted to say something, but it's fine because I'm a Holocaust survivor, that's all.
39A and 39B. Torah is called a song. The point of a song is not just the notes itself. It's the emotion that is elicited. A musical connection is not expressed by knowing all the notes, asterisk 39B, but by being emotionally impacted by the song. This is our connection with Torah study. It may take the form of scholarly discussions, but the entire person needs to be connected with the message of Torah. Whenever we sit down to study Torah, we're engaged in discovering an aspect of Hashem's will regarding how we are to lead our lives. Our relationship with the Torah is a revelation of Hashem's will, is ultimately an expression of our relationship with Hashem. And every time we learn Torah, we renew and strengthen that connection, which leads us to the next page. We ask, well, how come in 42 of Masisyahu we don't have any mitzvah on this day? You're missing the boat. Yes, I don't have one mitzvah on this day. What do I have?
613.
Every mitzvah on this day. Every mitzvah from the Kiddush at the beginning, the Ma'ariv at the beginning, to the Havdalah at the end. Every mitzvah is a connection. I don't have one thing to remind me. I have everything that I do is a reminder to me. This is another opportunity. Every time I mention Hashem's name, I should be filled with joy. What is a practical application for us on Shavuot is when I do a mitzvah or choose beforehand that X mitzvahs I'll do. Every time I say Asher Yatzar, every time I do whatever it is, I'm going to have the mindset in mind, Hashem, I'm connecting with you. I'm doing this because I love you. I'm doing this because this is your will. This is the mindset we need to have. And recognize in 43 and 44, as Rav Rotberg points out in Moda Labina, why do we read the book of Ruth on Shavuot? It's to show you how much Hashem is invested in our lives. The book of Ruth is the only book in Tanakh which is not about, per se, the Jewish people. It's a story about a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law, a landowner and a Gioret. There's no Jewish people in this picture here. All right, you want to tell me David HaMelech? That's nice. He comes at the last verse. There's no Jewish people here. Esther, it's about the Lashmi Laro Labed. It's about the Jewish people. Ruth's the only book we're talking about the Jewish people. And yet Ruth is part of Tanakh. Because Hashem is interested in what? In each and every one of us. He's interested in our conversations. From our conversations, casual conversations, comes Torah, comes halachas. And indeed, the Medrash says that, and Rav Bloch Zatzal builds on this, that the Torah is continuously being written. Melech Mashiach is looking at each one of our actions. What's going to bring Mashiach closer? It's not that Hashem is up here and we're down here. It's about connection. It's about love. Shavuos, you're going to make a cheesecake, make it in the shape of a heart. You know, they sell the shapes, molds. That's what you should do. And when people ask you, is it Valentine's Day, Lahavdil, Elos Hatalos? You say, it is the greatest Valentine's Day you can imagine. It's about love. Final two ideas for today, and I want to end with a story. 45. Kasher Tziva Hashem. This is the book of Garfinkel. Goes to every part of our day where you can have mindfulness. Put on a seatbelt, mitzvah nishmar temaod, every part of our day. In addition to helping us serve Hashem at all times, Kavanah b'mitzvah also strengthened our avodas Hashem. Every time a person does a mitzvah and says the word Kasher Tziva Hashem, as Hashem commanded, the message penetrates deeper into their consciousness and has an ever greater impact on their avodas Hashem. As a person's connection to Hashem grows, they will seek to do mitzvahs in a more complete way, fulfilling them with all the details. This includes the area of kavanah as well. Such a person will try to expand the scope of their kavanah. They will proceed to concentrate more on the mitzvahs they perform and do them with an even greater amount of intent. And I'd like to share an idea from, again, Rav Mansour's book that we just brought 2 weeks ago in 46. He asked, if you were to ask, what's the most important word in the Amidah in Shemona Esrei? You'd be like, I don't know. He says, in the first bracha, Leman umevi go livnei v'nehem leman shemo be'ahava. And he says in some Sidurim, it's written, Yechavein limsor nafsho, you should have in mind to be moser nefesh for Hashem. What does this mean? He says very simply, you say it at Shachris, between Shachris and Mincha, do one thing that goes against what you wanted for the will of God. Be'ahava, with love, I'm giving this moment over to you, God. You know, there's a mashulach at the door, I'm really not in the mood to open up. Welcome, would you like a cup of water? Be'ahava. You're about to do something. It could be opening the door and you're in a rush. And you what? Look behind you, I'm back on that, yeah, it's my campaign. Be'ahava. I move against my comfort zone for the Ribono Shel Olam. Be'ahava. That is what Shavuos is about. It's the one word. It's be'ahava. Ve'kereftanu malkeinu lavdasecha. Hashem brought us close. So there's a wonderful story that Rabbi Spiro tells in his latest book, one for the books or something, of the Alter Rebbe the Rebbe of Chabad, who comes to a certain town, and the Hasidim come out in masse to see, get a glimpse of the Rebbe. And he's learning with his son, the Mittler Rebbe, and the Mittler Rebbe, the son, realizes that, there are all these Hasidim outside ready to see the Rebbe, and he's inside, and they're not seeing him. So he unobtrusively gets up, and he moves the curtain a little bit so they can get a view of him. And the Alter Rebbe gets up and closes the curtain. 10 minutes later, the same thing repeats itself. A half hour later, the same thing repeats itself. So the Alter Rebbe turns to his son and says, "You may be wondering why I keep on closing the curtain." Just a little bit. He says, "I'll tell you." He says, "When I see these faces of these people who are standing out there just to get a small glimpse of me, what I see is such a powerful vision of neshamas that are so pure and so holy that all they want is kedusha." He says that vision of who these people are is so blinding that I can't look at them. My friends, that is our job on Shavuot, to realize how blinding our neshamas are, how strong they are, and to really go into Yantif feeling, yes, we have been chosen, or we have chosen to be Jews, Shelo Asani Goy, and I wear this with, no, I don't use the word pride. Privilege, uplifting, and with love. And I wish everybody a Chag Sameach.